Hey guys, Ariel over here, where today we are doing I got a really cool antique wind-up clock. It takes no batteries or anything, and it chimes. That was the half-hour chime, and then it also, counts the hour at the hour. It's really neat. Anyway, today what I was going to say is I'm making carrot soup. Now y'all might get tired of carrots, but that is the crop that I probably grew the greatest excess of this year successfully. So I'm doing a lot of carrot recipes. That is not a carrot, as you could probably see. That is an onion. Doing some onion and leeks here. And then going to be lots and lots of carrots. So I just pulled up a couple onions, just kind of dicing them up here to go in the soup. Not too concerned about the size of the chunks, as long as they're at least bite-sized. They're going to cook down to being pretty soft. I had to trim out a little bit of that guy. I had some continued chewing on things from underneath from my annoying little rodents. So, 2 onions in there. And again, if you haven't watched any of my other cooking videos or encountered this or whatever, the onion's going to make me cry in a second. Things like onions and garlic are so amazing for your health for so many different aspects. The sulfur compounds in there, the stuff that makes your eyes water and want to cry. Just good for killing all kinds of infections. Leeks here in the same family. They don't get a big fat bulb on the end like the onions do. Use more of the whole stem. So I'm just pine needle stuck in there, kind of like happens with my lettuce. Anyway, I'll use that. And then lots of garlic. I actually had peeled some garlic earlier today while I was watching some info about other health things. So while I was watching, I was multitasking and peeling garlic a while because that can take a little bit when you want to use so much. This is coconut oil. I just keep my one little spoon in here for scooping it out because in my climate it's always somewhere between solid to really, really hard. At body temperature it melts, but these days my house is anywhere from overnight. Most nights it's like 50 degrees. I'm not firing up the wood stove most nights yet, but it is freezing outside because it's still warming up plenty during the day. So anyway, it's not 96 degrees in my house. I'm gonna fire up the stove, and I'm just gonna gently saute my onions and leeks in there. Also garlic. This is the whole bag that I peeled cloves earlier today. This was quite a few heads of garlic. And I am putting, let's say that's a generous 2 cups. I've got something else I'm making I need a little bit for, so I'm just going to keep the rest of that I peeled for that. But so I'm going to throw about 2 cups of garlic in there, 2 onions, 4 leeks. I don't tend to cook by recipes very often, but I'm often inspired by them. So when I want to make a carrot soup or something, I'll, and this is just a great way to cook, I think. I'll get on Google and I'll Google carrot soup recipe. And I'll look at about 4 or 5 different ones that people seem to like, and I'll look what they all put in. And then I kind of do a combination of, look, this one put this in. That sounds good. Oh, and that one left that out and put this in instead, and that sounds good. And so then I just kind of make up my own thing with some inspiration from whatever I looked at. But most of them I saw said, like most normal recipes, 2 cloves of this, 1 cup of that, for onions and so on. And yes, I do love garlic. Very truly, people often, when I put this volume in something, people are like, are you sure you meant 2 cups, not 2 cloves? Yes, look at that pile. I do actually mean 2 cups. You could certainly do less. But the stuff is so good for you, and I just love the flavor. So, again, this is going to cook pretty soft and mushy, so I don't know too worried about having all these diced into little minuscule pieces. It smells really good in here already. Probably garlic and onions are my two absolute favorite things to cook with for almost any kind of a cooked meal that I make. So, stuff these on in here. Stir there in the coconut oil. You could use any kind of fat. I highly recommend a good real fat, butter, coconut oil, olive oil, as long as you don't heat it way too hot, whatever you like. So, while that is sauteing in there, I am going to start dumping the spices that I want in here in a while, because I really like them to have lots of time to get their flavor through. Oh, and the carrots are obviously going to have to go in here in a second. Pulled all these earlier and washed them. And then drop some on the floor. And this time, you've probably seen all the other colors I grow. This time I only grabbed orange, yellow, and red carrots. Because while I think they're awesome, I just wasn't sure I wanted a purple looking carrot soup. Not that there'd be anything wrong with it, it just didn't strike me as being quite the look I was going for with the carrot soup. And I've got big and little ones, and I don't even know if they'll quite all go in there. Obviously, I do not have a carrot shortage. Oh, that just smells so good. I love all veggies, but if I could only pick two to put in everything the rest of my life, it would be garlic and onions. So I'm going to dump spices in here. I want turmeric. You probably have heard this is dry turmeric. I don't have a hard time in our grocery stores getting fresh turmeric. Someday when I have a little more space, I would like to actually try growing my own, see if I can pull that off. But turmeric is awesome for all kinds of things, reducing inflammation, killing infections. Again, most recipes will give you a much smaller amount. I probably just put 2 tablespoons in there. Seems like statistically people who live in cultures that use a lot of turmeric, like India, naturally have a far lower rate of cancers, all that kind of thing. This is a little cumin. Probably going to do like a teaspoon of that. Turmeric is also very brilliant orange, as you can probably see. This soup is already going to be orange from the carrots, but it's going to be even oranger. And if you put turmeric in anything else, it will get very, very brilliant yellow as well, including enough to stain things. So if you don't want something yellow, don't put that in there. Then I'm going to grind some fresh black pepper. Black pepper seems to really help with your body's ability to absorb turmeric, or absorb the different compounds in turmeric. Like curcumin, and there's a whole host of things. That's probably the most well-known one. So let's see, I don't love black pepper that much myself, but I probably put a tablespoon in there. And forgot to get this out earlier. This is bone broth. I promise this winter I will get to doing a video of how I make bone broth. But that's 2 cups of turkey bone broth. And, oh yeah, I want a little bit of salt. Again, make sure you use a good real salt, something that's not, that's why I pour it into the lid first, so I don't accidentally get like a quart of salt in my meal. Let's say I'm doing a tablespoon. I might need to add a little more later to taste, we'll see. That is a little trick that works well when you're pouring spices. If you dump into the lid, you're less likely to accidentally get the whole jar into whatever you're making. Oh, and I love the smell of turmeric, and everything's looking brilliant yellow already in there. Yum. Okay. So carrots, these are just going to cook to a mush, so I'm not too worried again about what sizes they are or anything. I'm just cutting off the that would be the top end where the greens were coming out. And it just tends to get a little bit, I don't know, a little bit tough right around there. So I'm just trimming that off and just chunking these up into here. And again, I've done yellow and red and orange carrots for this particular combo. Though I'm sure you could make purple carrot soup, and that would be interesting. I made brilliant purple mashed potatoes the other night, and that looked, actually brilliant pink ones. I have some purple potatoes to use too, but it was like a fuchsia pink mashed potato, which was really beautiful. So I'm just going to chop these all up and put them in here, and then let this all cook soft. Oh, and I'm going to put some coconut milk in there. You could use regular milk if you'd like, or you could skip it entirely. I like things rich and creamy. A lot of vitamins and minerals and stuff are fat soluble, which means they dissolve into fat instead of into water. So if you consume them with some good fats, your body will be able to better use the nutrients you're actually eating. You absorb more vitamins and minerals out of lettuce, for instance. If you have lettuce with a salad dressing that has a good fat of some kind, like olive oil or something, and then you do if you just eat plain lettuce. So that is starting to simmer in there, and oh man, this smells so yummy. And it seems like a beautiful fall dish with the colors we're gonna get here. Let's put our coconut milk in. Open there. Might let that block of broth dissolve for another second first. Keep tossing my carrots in here, and then I will let this all, I'll put a lid on here and let it simmer down until everything cooks through nice and soft. It has been a gorgeous fall day. It was actually really clear today. We've had smoke off and on for like most of the summer, 3 or 4 months now, from other fires that were very distant. Today was the first day that a wildfire blew up close enough to my house that I could see it from here. It went from, it's not close enough to be threatening my house, but it went from a few hundred acres earlier this morning to like 5,000 acres this afternoon. The plume of smoke going up looked like a mushroom cloud or something. It was pretty crazy how fast it expanded. So nobody's currently evacuated, but some people may have to. They're a little bit south of me. So hopefully that is able to be contained and kept away from everybody's buildings and so on. Okay, so now I've got all my carrots chopped up in there, dumped my can of coconut milk in. Again, you could use any milk you like or leave it out entirely if you don't want it so creamy. And that is just simmering. It smells amazing. And the one other thing I want to put in here yet is probably not that whole thing, but I'm going to put some fresh ginger in. Keep that chunk for later. And just this, you could also use a powdered ginger for sure. I like to scrape off some of this outside peel because it's just a little bit pithy, and so then all your ginger chunks float if you leave it on, and they'll all be right on the top just because it acts like a little inflatable vest for the ginger pieces. So I like to just kind of scrape that off so I can get just the core. And then that is just going to cook till it's soft. Now a lot of people like their carrot soup put through a blender or something because they want just that real creamy texture, and I kind of prefer some chunks, and I don't have a blender. So for 2 different reasons, I am going to simply have a chunky carrot soup. I will give you a look at that once this all cooks nice and soft. Okay, this has been simmering for a little while. The carrots are pretty soft. I am going to mash them up a little bit with my potato masher here, even though I'm not putting them in a blender, though you certainly could if you want to make this real smooth and creamy. And we are going to eat. I got a friend coming over for dinner, and that is what we're having. Hopefully that inspires you to try cooking up some carrots, especially if you have as many extra ones growing in your garden as I do. Okay, had a lovely dinner with my friends, but I just wanted to show you guys, this stuff is so awesome. It is, I mean, this is like, almost, I mean, it tastes awesome just to eat, and I made it because I have so many carrots in the garden right now. This is the most productive carrot year I've ever had. But every single thing in there is good for you, and if you can learn to eat things that are good for you all, or at least most of the time, then you know, then we can all need a lot less medicines. And you know, in my mind, when people ask me what do I do for healthcare, this is what I do for healthcare. This kind of thing. This is caring for health. What you do when you're sick, that's another story. This is healthcare. And guys, I just want to encourage you to learn about what's in food, what you're putting in your body, and be inspired to cook your own things. You can do, you know, whatever. You can see how I cook. I don't use the exact same things. I don't measure things. You know, you can put edible things together and you're going to get edible food out of it, pretty much in general. So anyway, if you've ever made a carrot soup or you've got a favorite carrot soup recipe, let me know. And if not, try something similar to this. Let me know if you like it. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're interested in more info on my off-grid tiny house life, check out some of my other videos here. And if you like what you're seeing, click the little picture of my house to subscribe, and then hit the little bell so YouTube actually notifies you every time there's a new video available. See y'all next time.